Let's talk about something that silent, hidden reason you might feel like you're just stuck, repeating the same life patterns over and over and over and over again.
I mean, does this sound familiar at all? You find yourself in the same kind of relationship again, or facing that same conflict at work. It's just the faces and places change, but the story feels identical, right? It's like you're an actor and you keep getting cast in the exact same role, even though you are desperate for a new script.
Well, what if I told you these repeating cycles, they're not just bad luck. It's not some cruel twist of fate. What if they're actually a sign? A sign of something way deeper, something like unfinished awareness. So, naturally, when these things happen, what's our first instinct? We try to figure out why. We look for a cause. And, almost every single time, that search leads us to look, well, everywhere but inside ourselves. And our mind is pretty clever about this, right? It slaps a label on the problem. It calls it fate, or unfairness, or just plain bad luck. And once you've labeled it like that, the fix seems so obvious, doesn't it? Just change the partner, get a new job, move to a new city. I mean, on the surface, that makes total sense. But here's the catch. This is exactly why those fixes usually don't work. Sure, you can change all the external scenery, a new partner, a new city, a new company, but if that inner stance of yours stays the same, well, that same old pattern is just going to show up again, maybe wearing a different mask, but it's still there. Okay, so if the problem isn't out there, where is it? This is where we need to make a big shift, a pivot. We stop looking at the world around us and we start looking within. And this is the key insight. Get ready for this. What's repeating is not the event. It's the identity behind the event. Think about that. It's the part we play, the role we unconsciously step into in that situation. That's the constant. That's the thing we carry with us from one scene to the next. So what are we even talking about when we say identity or inner role? Well, think of it like your default emotional setting. What's your go-to position? Are you always the peacemaker, trying to smooth things over? Or maybe you're the victim, or the hero who always has to swoop in and save everyone. It's that place you unconsciously stand inside yourself whenever a familiar kind of pressure shows up. You see, this changes everything. The repetition, it's not a curse designed to make you suffer. It's a signal. It's really just your own awareness knocking on the door, patiently trying to get your attention, trying to get you to see the role you've been playing all along. Okay, so if it's a signal, how do we answer the call? The method for actually breaking the cycle is surprisingly simple. But, and this is a big but, it requires a huge shift in how we approach it. We have to stop trying harder and start seeing more clearly. And I know this is so counterintuitive, right? Our whole lives we're taught to solve problems by fighting them. We think we need to muster up all our willpower and just force a change. But what if all that effort is actually misplaced? What if what's really needed is just one moment of radical honesty with ourselves? Think about it. This is our go-to question, isn't it? Why does this keep happening to me? And that question, it comes from a place of feeling totally helpless. It instantly puts us in the role of the victim, where the world is just doing things to us. But the honest question, the one that actually changes things, is totally different. It shifts the entire focus away from the outside world and onto our own part in it. The question is, who am I being here? And listen, this isn't about blaming yourself. Not at all. It's about getting curious. Because something almost magical happens the moment you see your role clearly, and I mean without judging yourself for it, the pattern's grip just starts to loosen. You don't have to fight it or force it away. Just seeing it, the awareness itself is what creates the change. Because the pattern's job, its whole purpose, is finally done. This little shift from asking why to asking who, it completely reframes how we think about personal growth. Most of us think about growth as self-improvement, right? Like we're a car with a broken part that needs to be fixed. But this is a totally different way of looking at it. It's more like identity evolution. It's not about fixing something that's broken. It's about completing a lesson that lets you evolve into the next version of you. Because at the end of the day, it's that awareness that completes the lesson. Once you finally get the role you've been playing, the universe doesn't need to give you the same test over and over. Life just naturally moves on.
So, really, it all boils down to this one simple but profound shift. The moment you stop looking outside yourself for reasons and you start looking inside for the role you're playing, that's when everything can change. And that leaves us with the real question, the big one. It's not about what happened to you in the past or even about the pattern you feel stuck in right now. The question this all opens up is about the future. It's with this new awareness, who are you becoming?